Okay, so this could be interesting. This game is called Always the Same Blue Sky. It's totally a Japanese anime game. And what's curious, of course, this could be in translation too. You never know what you're going to see in one of these games. Start your journey. Okay. Continue your journey. All right. Customize your journey. That's what the options are. And leave your journey. So the game itself is a journey. Since I've never played, let's go ahead and start the journey. Are you going on this adventure as a male or female? Let's do male. I got an achievement. I leaned over the immaculate red rail of the ferry and stared into the inviting Mediterranean Sea. The combined effect of the gentle breeze and wake from the ferry gave the impression that the sea was sheathed in silk. The precious fabric was a rich shade of turquoise which transformed the glaring sun into 1,000 stars. Mesmerized, lost in the abyss, I had an overwhelming desire to obtain one of these elusive glimmers of light. After spending only minutes transfixed, the desire developed into an unhealthy need that I couldn't overcome. I dutifully answered my possessor's siren call by deftly diving deep into its mysterious depths. The cool water felt divine against my mortal skin as it washed away the heat. I seemed to fall forever. Is this a Twilight novel? It was in that euphoric deep blue world that I caught a glimpse of her. Like a jellyfish, she floated submissively in the water, with no obvious aim, no purpose. Her hair and elaborate garments danced around her in the water as if trying to coax her to life. It worked. Although she remained unmoving, she acknowledged my presence with a smile. I smiled back and reached out towards what? I smiled back and she reached out towards my eyes. I instantly felt every muscle in my body relax. As she did this, the sea green filter that tinted this second world became more apparent, along with the shiver of the distant sun. I wondered if this was the result of her using some sort of heavenly force, or merely the depletion of my sanity. The glistening of her flowing hair became more prominent as my vision blurred. It was all I could focus on as my consciousness ebbed away. Here we go. I awoke sharply, upright and panting heavily. I blinked, allowing a few seconds for reality to take over. Intense dream, I muttered, trying to speed up the process. Guess the last few days have been pretty full on. I collapsed back down and took a minute to take in my new beachside apartment. It felt alien. My eyes watered as I attempted to look past the bright light coming through the window to see what awaited me outside. Bright light? I leapt out of bed and rooted frantically through the open suitcase on the floor. Mother of Christmas, 9:21 already? College starts in 9 minutes. The alarm must have been muffled. Gee, go figure. Something Japanese has to deal with college. I grabbed my toothbrush and headed to the bathroom, stretching a little on the way. I guess it's better than the usual high school. I didn't need to turn on the light as there was already ample, which felt bizarre as it had been snowing when I left England. I recoiled at the half-human creature that greeted me in the mirror. I unfortunately didn't have time to fully tame it. As I brushed my teeth, I caught a glimpse of the familiar bottle of pills at the corner of my eye. It dawned on me that the last few days had been a bit of a blur. I was more than used to moving around, so I knew I'd snap out of it. I decided to take an extra tablet, all the same. I scoured the rooms, I hurriedly got dressed, throwing everything I laid in my eyes onto the satchel, before legging it in the desperate hope I wouldn't be more than 10 minutes late. It took me an extra 5 minutes to find classroom 2C, as the instructions on the map were nowhere near as straightforward as they made themselves out to be. I ended up being around 20 minutes late. The teacher was not impressed. I apologized and awkwardly introduced myself to the teacher, whilst I felt the coldness of 40-odd pairs of eyes attempting to glare into the back of my soul. She cut my explanation short, agitatedly told me to take a seat, and without pause continued with the lecture. I turned around to face my new classmates, and their expressions now ranging from boredom to disinterest. All except one. Ah. Whoa. Whoa. Snapped out of autopilot as I hit unexpected turbulence, but my hands missed the controls. You know how that is. She was without a doubt the most beautiful girl I'd ever met, flawlessly proportioned, with with an almost porcelain face, completely free of any imperfections. Although untanned, the colors in her hair gave the impression she had spent a lifetime bathing in the sun. Full of depth, it appeared radiant in the bright light that flooded through the window behind her. It provided the perfect frame for her piercing apple-green eyes. They are pretty apple-green. Which penetrated through all pretense. Is this just a book? Although I felt exposed, I did not feel intimidated. Pollux. I came crashing back down to realize I'd been standing there gormlessly for a lot longer than could be considered socially appropriate. I felt my face flush as I sheepishly took my place in the last remaining seat, which was, guess where? Right next to her, of course. Terrific. I spent the rest of the day... Ooh, we've got some gameplay here. Trying to avoid eye contact or nervously grinning. Let's nervously grin. Okay, good job, class. I expect to see you promptly tomorrow, the teacher said, glaring at me. Tee-hee-hee-hee. Hi, I'm Kyra. It's a pleasure to meet you. She pushed her hair behind her ear, revealing the full extent of her smile. Her full attention was focused on me. This caught me completely off guard. As a result, I reverted to a more primal species, one without the capacity for language. Are you new to the island? Still nothing. It's not a big place, and I haven't seen you around. My brain slowly started to click back into life. I decided to start with my name. So I spelt each letter in my head and pressed enter when finished. Okay. Mune. Mune. I boomed confidently, of course, overcompensating for my previous silence. It's great to meet you. I just arrived here yesterday. It was a last-minute thing, so I think my brain could be lagging a little behind. I scratched the back of my head nervously. I was lucky to find an international college in such a remote place, really. I smiled awkwardly, realizing that I was waffling. Waffles. I guess you weren't from around here. You're from England, right? I was shocked. How'd you know that? Your accent? Tee-hee! Kyra said, chuckling a little at my expression. Great. Glad things are picking up, I thought sarcastically. I couldn't help but grin at my own denseness. I tried to work out where she was from so that I could continue the conversation, but I was baffled. It was obviously she wasn't a local. I'd lived in what seemed like every nook and cranny of the globe, yet I'd never encountered an accent like hers before. Not that it didn't compliment her perfectly. I will... That's kind of a weird choice. Succumb? I'm going to say guess. I planted my tongue firmly in the side of my cheek. I'm going to take a random stab in the dark and say, somewhere in the Netherlands? Knowing full well I was wrong. I couldn't gauge Kyra's reaction. Afraid not. I'm not giving up that easily. How about a mysterious undiscovered island in the Bermuda Triangle? Then how would I have gotten here? Very true. You'll never get it, Kyra said with a chuckle and glint in her eye. Guess you have to spend some time with me to figure it out. I felt my heart thump. What was this girl doing to me? So on that note, would you like someone to show you around? Well, the places I've discovered so far anyway? Yeah, that'd be great if you're sure you don't mind. She smiled excitedly. Sure, I'd love to. With that, Kyra turned and led the way out of the classroom. Our peers parted as she walked with purpose towards the exit. Goodbye. Oh, I was starting to wonder where she's taking me after following her through the random roadsides and dark alleys for what must have been at least half an hour. She would stop occasionally when confronted with more than one path, her gaze wildly between them before confidently strolling down the one that seemed to lead the closest to our point of origin. It was this, coupled with the signposts we had passed 4 times previously, that led me to the conclusion that we were going around in circles. Leave it to her, though I didn't know where I was enjoying it. I've got the feeling... Okay, let's Try to get some control here. Oh, look at that. I've got another achievement. Why'd you say that? I moved my glance from the signpost behind Kyra to her eyes. Whoop! Intuition. Kyra looked dubious, but didn't question me further as we rounded the corner. What are the people here like then? Island mentality and all that. They're friendly enough, but a little one-dimensional. Outsiders usually have more substance. I wasn't sure how to take this, but didn't have time to contemplate, as Kyra had cut herself off with a sharp look to the right. You know what? I'm sure this is where I lost my bracelet the other week. Kyra's feet followed her gaze diligently down the side street, her eyes focusing on different points as she described it to me. It's nothing extravagant, just a chain with shells attached, really, but it meant a lot to me. Let's see. Let's look for it. Oh, no, you don't have to, she exclaimed as I knelt down to look through a small gap. Don't worry about it. I was entirely sincere. I could tell Kyra was upset. We searched as thoroughly as we could, but to no avail. Kyra was disappointed, but seemed a little cheerier, and I was happy to have contributed. You know what? This sounds like a good cliffhanger spot. Don't you wonder if I'm going to find this bracelet thing? I'm kind of curious myself. And where is she going to take me? And where is she from? And where am I? And who am I? This is number 4. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop here. I'm not sure how this saves. Let's find out. Oh, let's save it right there. And it has been saved. Let's go back. Nope. Let's title page. Okay. Man, that's awesome. If you're into it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me read. Bye.